We can also use your sales message and your building blocks to create objection responses. So what I'll do here is I'm just going to flip through the common objections that you would face, and I'm going to show you how you can basically just respond to all of those with your different building blocks. By the way, there's a lot of logic with dealing with objections and how to use these responses, and we will get into that when we get into level 3, and there's a module specifically about dealing with objections, and we'll go through all these objections and objection responses again, but I'm just showing you how you can use your building blocks to fill in the responses, and then we'll come back to this later when we talk about objection handling. But a real common objection is from gatekeepers. What's this in regards to? Well, you could just, instead of saying, well, I'm calling to schedule an appointment, I'm calling to introduce my company, instead of saying that, you could respond with your value points. Well, the reason for my call is we help CFOs to decrease the amount of time it takes to run their daily reconciliation reports. Is this a sales call? Well, the reason for my call is I work with CFOs and help them to decrease the amount of time it takes to run their reconciliation reports. I'm not interested. Oh, I understand. If I could ask you real quick, and then just ask one of your pain questions. Another option for I'm not interested is you could deflect to your pain points. Oh, I understand. When I talk with other CFOs, they often have challenges with that it's difficult to do this and it's tough to do that. Are you concerned about any of those? Just send me some information. I can certainly do that, so I know what best to send you. Can I ask you real quick? And then ask one of your pain questions. Your current environment questions are great questions for just send me some information. I can certainly do that, so I know what best to send you. Can I ask you real quick, who are you currently using today? And here's a response to deflect back to your sales process. We'll explain this response more when we talk about objection handling. We already used someone for that. Oh, okay. You could respond to that with your current environment questions. Oh, great. Who are you using today? How long have you been with them? How's it going? You could also respond to we're already using someone today with your pain questions. Oh, great. If I could ask you real quick, how important is it for you to decrease the amount of time it takes to run your reconciliation report? We already used someone for that. Oh, great. Well, when I talk with other CFOs, they often say that it takes a long time to run their reconciliation report. How concerned are you about that? Regarding the we don't have any budget or money to spend, you could reply to that with a deflection back to your sales process. We'll explain this more when we talk about objection handling. But you could also reply to that with your pain questions building block. Oh, I understand that. But if I could ask you real quick, how important is it for you to decrease time in this particular area? You could also reply with your pain points building block to this objection. Oh, I understand. When I talk with other CFOs, they often have challenges with the reconciliation report. How concerned are you about that? We're not making any changes right now. You could reply to this objection with your pain questions. Oh, I understand. If I could ask you real quick, how do you feel about your ability to successfully onboard new sales hires? You could reply to this objection also with your current environment questions. We're not making any changes right now. Oh, I understand. If I could ask you real quick, do you guys currently use any type of new sales hire onboarding training process? We are not making any changes right now. Oh, I understand. When I talk with other sales trainers, they often say that the new sales hire ramp-up time is too long, often anywhere between 3 to 6 months. How concerned are you about that? You could also reply to this objection by deflecting back to your sales process, and we'll explain how that works when we talk about objection handling in more detail. Call me back in X months. You could reply to this with a deflection to your sales process, and we will explain that when we talk about how to handle objections. But you could also reply with your a modified pain points building block, which is when they say, call me back in X months. Oh, I can certainly do that. But when we last spoke, you mentioned you had challenges with this, and this. Are you sure it makes sense to put off talking it for another X months with those concerns going on?